what's going on. We're just gonna be waiting a second. We're gonna get Oscar in here, make sure everybody's in here. We'll start pretty much right at 1, I think. But we're gonna be going over phobias today, which should be pretty fun. But we'll wait about 5 minutes, 4 minutes.
Hello, Spencer.
Bam.
Wait,
Good to go.
this is cool.
All right.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Now that midterms week is coming to an end, the stress is actually really calming down, which is a lot because I thought I was going to lose it for a while. But how you doing?
I still have one midterm next week, but I'm doing okay. I have a lot of stuff to do still, but yes, it's simmering down. The responsibilities are horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can feel it. I mean, I feel like halfway through the year being over, I'm finally starting to like actually adjust to online stuff, like getting my little schedule down and like holding myself accountable to a lot of the due dates and stuff because it's hard, man. I thought it was gonna be easy, but
Yeah,
it's rough.
I feel that. Last semester, it took me like probably the finals week to actually get situated in my schedule and stuff because it was all online, and then I
Mhm.
felt it hit me hard still. Like even though we had
Hard.
last semester.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that's rough. I'm glad it's getting better for you though.
Yeah, I mean, I, it looks like it's getting better. Hopefully, it continues on the trend and we keep going up to getting everything into a more like orderly manner. Because right now, I feel like I'm just running around doing stuff.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
like cold weather, by the way? It's been getting a little where I'm at.
I was not ready for it at all. I had like no clue it was coming, and I just like slept normally. I usually sleep like basically like halfway out of the covers. I woke up at like 3 in the morning, like shivering. I didn't know what was going
Oh,
on, but I love the cold weather. I literally love it. So sweatshirts and sweatpants, that's all me. I can't wait. We
yep.
just need a little bit more.
And perfect for Zoom. You can just wear sweatpants,
Yeah.
maybe a shirt. Yeah. Um, yeah, so today we're gonna be talking about fears, right?
Yep. Talking about phobias, trying to keep a little bit of a spooky theme for Halloween that's coming up.
All right. Yeah, it just hit one, so we should wait for like some more people. But I'm excited for this conversation.
I know it's gonna be cool. I didn't realize until we started talking about this, like how many phobias I had. I had quite a few.
Yeah. No, my same here. I was doing some research and I was realizing I do a phobia or that I have to
Mhm.
actually reflect on, Because sometimes
Yeah,
like run away from your fears and your the things that like you might not react well to. And
yeah,
so you know what is actually the thing that you're scared of. And so
hmm
it's cool to like reflect on that.
yeah. I mean, I'm. How are you a Halloween person? I've been talking like this year. I feel like I've met a large number of people that like aren't Halloween people, which is weird because like that's never happened to me. I usually everybody I talk to is like just juiced for Halloween.
Yeah. I want to get into Halloween. I think like it's always seen as like something to prepare for, and Halloween is always during midterm seasons for me. So like it's always
Oh
a
yeah.
hectic. But every Halloween I actually go to a concert, and so this a Sam Smith concert on Friday near Halloween. Halloween's
Oh
on,
man,
but I'm
that
excited.
sounds.
I don't know if I'm dressing up this year though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm necessarily dressing up, just because like I don't even know if I want to or am able to go anywhere for Halloween. Like it's still where I'm at. Like it's still like most people are scared to get within 6 feet of you, and everything's locked down, which is understandable. But I was looking forward to getting dressed up, going out, and seeing people. But maybe next year or
I
Christmas.
I saw some places on like Twitter and stuff where like
Mhm.
they had a car wash where they had like you know how they have the at Six Flags they have the Horror Nights. It was kind of like
Yes.
Horror Nights at the car wash, which is
Oh,
so
so they had like decorations and stuff.
no they jump at you and they scare you
Oh,
during
oh my God. Wait,
and
that's crazy. That's
yeah
awesome. I need
I
that type of spirit in my life, man.
wait
I feel
sorry what
like I said I need that type of like Halloween spirit in my life. I need people to get more into it.
yeah
The gym I work at right now, we just finished decorating and stuff like for Halloween. We didn't go as all out as I would have liked to, but I mean it's still pretty cool. Just like throw up some cobwebs, like pumpkins and stuff. Just kind of get into the October spirit. It's nice.
yeah oh so you're working at a gym right now.
Yeah. I just started down here with like after COVID and stuff, just to like make a little bit of extra money, go and be able to do some stuff. But I mean, it's pretty fun so far. I actually love it. I mean, the
Yeah.
hours are cool. Like it's not like super high stress. You can do homework, do stuff like that. So it's nice.
Yeah,
What's up, Naomi?
that's a nice income during this time. Like,
Hmm.
so, um,
Especially if we're talking about going back to school next semester. I did you see like the emails and stuff? Like I don't know how I feel. Just getting adjusted and then immediately switching back and be like, all right, we're back in person again.
yeah, I imagine that being a huge stressor for a lot of people because it's like uncertain still, I think.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone who's joining who is dealing with that too, um, just, just hopefully that like the school will be able to make a decision soon, and then we'll all be at ease with that decision
Yeah. That would
and
be nice.
adapt. Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So
it's about
um,
105. You wanna
it's up to you. Do you want to?
yeah. Let's get started. All right. So I mean, would you like to talk about what phobias are first?
Yeah, so phobias, I don't have the definition of phobias. I have a relatively like my own definition,
Mhm.
but phobias fears are sometimes used synonymously, but they're kind of um, just something that we might have a reaction to. So like if I'm afraid of different things, and once I see that, my heart rate might go up or my body might tense up, and phobias and fears might give us those bodily reactions. And I think phobias are things that are more long term
Mhm.
and might actually it's hard to describe the
No,
difference, but
yeah.
I can look.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. I looked it up and you said that it like the actual specific dictionary definition, it's like extreme or irrational fears
Mm,
that like lead to aversion or something. And when you were talking about having like different responses, for me personally, I always think about like the fight or flight like kind of reaction because it's always really interesting to see like what type of situations like will kind of induce what reaction.
yeah. Do you
Um,
want that a little bit to the people?
you want to say that one more time? Yeah,
Go
you
ahead
kind
and
of cut out.
fight or flight system
Oh
to
yeah, yeah, of
audience.
course. So like when your adrenaline starts raising and you get like say scared or for me personally, like or me and Oscar talked about it, like sharks. If I like saw a shark in the wild while I was like swimming in the ocean, it would raise all of my hormone levels and basically induce a reaction, that being either fight, flight, and I guess there's a middle one, freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's different for every person based off of just like different characteristics of who you are and things like that. But you can either run away from what you're scared of, try to fight what you're scared of, or freeze. And it's a little embarrassing, but I had an encounter with one of my not phobias, but I got like terrified and I froze. And it was like a weird experience because I had never froze like that before. And I literally was like 5 seconds of like, I like blacked out and didn't know what happened. It was just
Wow.
like, whoa, it was crazy.
What was it too?
Um, like I said, we were at the gym and we were setting all of the Halloween stuff up. And I didn't know because I hadn't been there last Halloween. Apparently, on top of the store is like a spider and it like hangs down from our sign, but it's like 4 feet wide. So I open up our back room and it's pitch black and I click the lights and I could see the little red lights in the back and it was just like a 4 foot spider. And I didn't scream
Oh,
or yell or anything. I literally just sat there and looked at it and froze and was like, oh my God, like what just happened? It was terrifying.
yeah. No, I honestly would experience the same thing. Like I would either scream or I would just freeze there. Because with
Yeah.
bugs, I am deadly afraid of bugs, and I think I have a trauma story from that too. But like it's interesting to see like why we might have fears for certain things, and sometimes we don't have an explanation for our fears. I don't know
Mhm.
if that for spiders, but I know why I'm scared of bugs.
Why are you scared of bugs?
Also, I just wanted to let everyone know, whoever has any fears or phobias, like we want to have this open discussion with the community. So, if anyone wants to put something into the chat, share their own phobias or fears, like we would love to talk that through with you. And we have some like different methods of coping with our fears as well that we have tried out when we were planning this discussion. But this is something that I'm still working on, and hopefully, like we can all work through it together. But
Mhm.
I'm afraid of bugs because I remember when I was younger. First of all, like in my house there was a bunch of bugs. There's a lot, especially cockroaches. And when I went to I was younger, cockroaches would fly at you, and it was just like you need to step away because that's you're in my bubble. Um,
Yeah.
I just how like their hard shell and everything, and like just how like crunchy they can be if you step on them accidentally, and just that whole experience was so like I don't know. It definitely just thinking about it, my heart starts to raise and like my whole body starts to clench up. But there's this one time I was in my grandma's house and I was really young and I was watching a show on Disney Toon or something or Disney Channel, and then I was touching something, and so my grandparents, they like to put over our sofa. So there was like a sheet and then there was a couch. And in between there was some space. And so I remember watching the show and unconsciously touching something. And I was so confused because I kept touching this bump and I was like, what is this? But I kept doing it and I was watching the show. So obviously I wasn't really paying attention to it. But when it was commercials, I was like, oh shit, what am I touching? So I actually like
Yeah.
pressed to it and I crushed this cockroach and I like threw up. Uh,
Ooh. Oh
yeah,
my God.
I felt really bad for the cockroach because I feel like I pressed it to death, which is really
Over
bad.
and over, like multiple times, like barely
Yeah.
touching it.
But just that crunching noise too, it just
Oh
something.
yeah.
And now whenever I see a cockroach, I freeze. So
Mhm.
see how that irrational fear from that one incident can result in something that like can limit me when I'm in
Yeah.
it and then I have to go somewhere, but I'm freezing because there's a cockroach in
Yeah.
front.
No, yeah, I understand. Like I had to think about because my biggest like fear or phobia was heights. It was just scared of being on top of something and looking down, like the perspective and like how your vision is all weird. Literally just made me like sick to my stomach instantly. And I was trying to think back to what caused that. And I really genuinely think, have you ever had one of those dreams where you feel like you're falling and you just like wake up and you just like are in your bed like, oh my God, like what was that? I think it stems from that because I remember waking up terrified from those, like literally so scared. And then as it developed and like I traveled and like I would be on like buildings and like look out places, I realized that like, oh my God, like I do not want to be this high up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it actually, and then if we want to kind of transition into the psychology type of section, um,
Okay.
I had to kind of face my like obviously what you should do is face your fear, but um my dad is a big he was like this was probably when I was 18. He was a big proponent of just like pushing you to go do something that you might be uncomfortable doing, not necessarily like to like a horrible extent, but just like if I'm
Yeah.
scared of heights, like you should be able to overcome that fear. So we went skydiving, and I
Oh,
just remember thinking all the way up until we actually went skydiving, like this is not gonna help. Like this is just horrible. I was sick. I was literally in cold
wow.
sweat, literally just terrified out of my mind. And actually going and doing it, although I was pissed, I was so mad for about 2 days afterwards at everybody.
Or was that like your own decision too?
Well, I wanted to do it with him, like because he had wanted to do it for a while, but and like I wasn't gonna miss it. I wasn't forced to do it, but I
Yeah.
remember not wanting to, like out of my own fear. Like I wanted to do it with my dad, but I didn't want to like actually put myself in that position because I was scared to.
Oh, most
But
definitely.
yeah, when I was faced with like being on top of like a another building, like looking down, like seeing it, it really helped. I mean, I was still kind of scared, but I wasn't like terrified, like where I felt sick when I was looking down, which was it. It feels nice to know that you kind of overcame something, just even if it's just a little bit, which
Wow.
is pretty awesome.
That's crazy that you went skydiving. That's like people who thrill seek and people who love heights, or like they're
Uh-huh.
not. They are I feel like they're usually the ones who like want that experience. But
Yeah,
that you use such an extreme experience
I
to
know.
get over that. Are you still afraid of heights, do you think?
Um, I would say no. But obviously, I still am not going to put myself in positions where I am in tall places, like where
Yeah.
I'm high above like a city or something. Like, I don't want to be there, but I wouldn't say I'm like scared to be put in that position anymore,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah, that's something that's really cool by the way. But that's something that I really want to try in the future. Either bungee jumping or skydiving, because those are like
Ooh.
dream heights. But
I
like
don't know how I feel about bungee jumping. I feel like I'm gonna like the rope will be too
the
long
rope,
and I'll just like hit the ground or like that's just not me. I don't want to bounce back up and go back down again.
no,
That's too much.
that's very possible because you have to really trust the organization that you're going, because it can be so close to the ground. I've seen it be so close to the ground.
Yeah, I know. It's or like when they like touch the water, it's like over a river and they literally like dunk their hands in the water and like go back up. Like what if it's like a couple
Uh,
inches too long? Just
yeah.
bam.
Wow, yeah. I never thought of it like that, but it's true. Yeah, so we're talking a little bit about our phobias and our fears, but if anyone wants to kind of talk about their own or something that they might be fearful of, especially since it's Halloween, it's like a good time to talk about things that we are afraid of, and people are like manifesting in these fears to
Yeah.
costumes. So if you guys wanted to put that in chat, you guys are welcome. But we also want to talk about some ways that we have coped with our phobias. Tanner said he exposed himself to fully immerse himself
Yeah.
into. Do you want to talk a little bit about how phobias might be defined in a psychological perspective, or how that is working in the brain?
Um could you say the first part one more time? It like cut out for like a split second and then you came
Oh,
back in.
like just if you wanted to talk about how like phobias,
Uh-huh.
why phobias exist sometimes, and
Oh
how
yeah, of
like
course.
reactions to it might actually
Mhm.
not be for us.
Yeah, so basically a phobia, like I when I read the definition, the irrational fear that leads to like the avoidance of the subject is
Yeah,
actually built up over time. When like you're exposed to something, me and Oscar were talking about this one, which was funny, which was sharks. Like we were
yeah,
saying, scared of sharks. But the irrational portion comes from when I'm in like my pool and I'm in the shallow end and I don't want to go in the deep end because I'm like, well, like I know there's probably not a shark there, but like what if there is? Like maybe there might be a shark.
yeah,
And when you get out of that situation, your body rewards you And over time of that, like with that happening over and over again, even if it's just something small, your body naturally wants to avoid whatever it is, whether that be, I saw, where was it? David said he's like scared of snakes. So say you see a snake and you're scared of it and you get away from the snake, your body tells you that you did a good job, and then it happens again a week later. The more times that happens, the more of the fear, like the more your body's going to want to get away from whatever it is that you're scared of, and the more the fear becomes irrational over time. So
Yeah.
for like heights, having that dream a couple times and like being in a couple tall places, my body was like this is not fun. But once you realize it's irrational and you take those, well, do you want to talk about how to kind of combat phobias a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, and just letting you know, I don't know if anyone is answering in the chat, but I don't see anything. So if you wanna like,
There was one up there, and
okay,
Nathaniel said he agreed to it.
okay, because I can't see any of them for some reason.
Ah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I think it's because I'm the host of the, yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, no. So, to speak on that rational fears aspect of phobias, um, and to talk a little bit about the sharks. I'm also afraid of sharks. They can eat you. You know, they're dangerous. You know, if you were swimming with sharks, there's a natural reaction, especially since a lot of our phobias and fears are learned through society. You know, and how other people react. If your
Hmm.
parents reacted in a certain way to certain things, you might be reacting to that if you were at an impressionable age, at a young.
Yeah,
And so there's just a lot of variables to why we have fears and why we have phobias. But when it becomes irrational, that is when we have to kind of try to combat it because it could be really debilitating. And
yeah,
from things that we want to pursue. Perhaps like some people have social phobias because of a trauma or incident in the past, or maybe they just have it for a very specific reason in their life, but it becomes something that prevents them from going to interviews for jobs and
yeah,
actually doing the goals and the wishes that they want to pursue. And I think that's why conversations and different meditation kind of things for phobias and fears are important. And so to talk on that, there are some things that you can do, but one thing to really conceptualize for fears and phobias is avoidance conditioning. And a lot of times we tend to want to avoid the things that might make us feel anxious or
hmm,
I see a bug in front of me. I will literally go to the next room and let someone
yeah,
but because we're always avoiding it, it actually does compound and it does get bigger, our fears.
uh-huh.
And we give that small thing or even sometimes big things so much power over us. It's but even
Hmm,
not even going to affect us. Um,
yeah,
like sharks on a pool, like most likely that will not happen, but and it's still when I'm swimming and my head is in the water and my eyes are closed, I will open my eyes no matter how much chlorine is in the water. I will
yeah,
eyes because I feel like a shark is right there looking at me. And
hmm,
it's good to know that it's a good thing to know, notice for your fears and phobias. It's just to be aware of what it is and what's the root of it. And
yeah,
so, and then we can start understanding like, oh, what is our reaction to these things? And so some things that can combat that is exposure exposure therapy or
yeah,
just being exposed to your fear or phobia. And so
hmm,
your fear of heights at a very very extreme case, but you were in the top of the
yeah,
jumping down, and that's so awesome that you're able to get through that. But also through muscle relaxation as well, we have different exercises that actually focus on different muscle groups that might be tense to alleviate your anxiety and tension during those situations. Um, and
yeah.
I'll leave it up to you, Tanner. Do you want to walk through a muscle relaxation practice with the audience or whoever's watching right now to see if they would want to like practice that with us?
Um, when that's when you are like squeezing and you do the time frame and you get it. Yeah. What's
Yeah.
the correct time frame? Was it 25 or 30 seconds?
Um,
Or was it longer than that or shorter than that? But I think I remember the exercises and it's pretty fun.
yeah, no, it's so we're going to tense up our first muscle group for like around 4 to 10 seconds. So we're gonna breathe in and then we're gonna tense up. And once you breathe out, you let go of all the tension in that body. And sometimes we might we might try this exercise without actually tensing up a body, uh,
Mm-hmm.
a part of our body that we know tenses up during those times of seeing our fears in front of us. But we're actually not relaxing as much. We
Mm-hmm.
focus all the tension on maybe like my shoulders. So I shrug my shoulders and
Yeah.
tense it up as much as I can. Once I breathe out and I really let it go, that entire muscle group is actually relaxed compared to if we just try to do it naturally, but the
Yeah.
fears,
Uh-huh.
uh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And like I see Nathaniel typed in the chat that just a couple seconds is enough. I'm sure
Okay.
with that concentration and that being put in that scenario, a couple seconds would be enough over time to really help with those phobias and getting over that first couple steps of making or breaking the irrational part of the fear.
Mm-hmm. Or just deep breathing too would work for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
because we do get during those times. Yeah.
Yeah, meditation is useful in almost any scenario where your mentality is like at question. Stress, anxiety, fears, meditation and breathing and focusing on your breathing can always help all
Mm,
of those.
definitely.
um cool. Yeah. I think that's all we had on the phobias. Do you want to go into announcements?
Yeah.
I mean, like, go into the section. So the thing I'm really excited about this week is our Cougars Care. It's going to be coping with anxiety and depression. Um, I've always loved these Cougar Cares. They're super, super instructional, and you really learn a lot. You can get apps for all of those things too. Oh, for meditation and trying to combat those fears. Yeah, of course. There's a bunch of apps and stuff that are really helpful. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Personally,
like I was saying. Oh,
Headspace
go ahead.
are really good meditation apps from that I've seen, that I've used. I mean, um,
Which one?
they're called Headspace and Calm. If anyone ever like wants to download those and try it out, it's really calming using those meditation apps.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. I haven't personally tried out any apps, but I I've heard actually pretty good things from using them. I usually try to listen to like really calming music or just like ocean, white noise, stuff like that. That always works for me.
Yeah, me too. I tend to go to those as well, especially like when I'm studying. I get a lot of anxiety when I study, and like putting on
Mhm.
rain. Guys, I know some people don't like rain, but I love rain.
Yeah.
So like it's good white noise
Hmm.
to calm you. Sorry, continue with your announcements.
Oh yeah, I was just talking about our Cougars Care. That's going to be this Friday. It's going to be on coping with anxiety and depression, which is a pretty common topic amongst people, especially with all of this social distancing and
Mhm.
being shunned away from everybody. We learn a lot from these. They're super, super educational. They're led by Nathaniel Fernandez, who is our peer educator. So
Mhm.
um, really awesome. Next week, we're going to be doing a post-election workshop instead of a Wellness Wednesday. And that this time,
Mhm.
basically, it's just going to go over post-election review, no matter who wins, whether it's Biden or Trump, and we're just going to look at tools and strategies to deal with some of the emotional reactions and like just to like the results of the election. There's going to be a link in the APU psychology Instagram bio that you can click to sign up to join.
Mhm.
I would recommend it. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah, and the link is also there for any of the Cougars cares. If you guys wanted to uh, go to the workshop this Friday to see like what that's about, it's talking about coping and with anxiety and depression. But also, if you feel like after going to the workshop this Friday and you still need help with some of the anxiety that you feel, or some of even talking about fears and phobias, sometimes it feels very like out of our control. And so our therapists and counselors at the counseling center actually do want to help, and it is free to students. If you guys wanted to give a call, I'll get the number.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, like I said though, I would really, really highly recommending checking out some of our either our Wellness Wednesdays or our Cougars Cares. Wellness Wednesdays are obviously on Wednesdays at 1. Cougars Cares are on Fridays. I'm really advocating for the Cougars Cares. They're very, very educational and they're very, very fun to go to. At least I think. The Wellness Wednesdays are on Instagram and the Cougars Cares are on Zoom. So make sure you go to our website to register for the Zoom link. Is that messed
And
up or
I
is it
just
gonna work?
included the phone number to the counseling center if anybody needs that as well, or wants to look at those options for you.
Cool. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's all I had. You got anything to add, Oscar?
No, I think we covered a good portion of how like fears and phobias may affect us, and how like we can combat some of those fears and phobias and deal with them. And if anyone has any questions, please reach out to the counseling center, and we'll try to get to those questions as well.
Absolutely. Cool. Thanks for joining everybody. Hopefully we see you back next Friday or next Wednesday, and hopefully we see you Friday as well for those Cougars cares. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Oscar.